I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary. Because tariffs are going to make us rich as hell. It's going to bring our country's businesses back that left us.
You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time.
I'll play you the rest of the clip in a minute. I just want to talk about this. Back in 1987, Ronald Reagan warned us about the dangers of protectionism, and listening to him now feels like he was speaking directly about what Donald Trump is doing today. Reagan made it clear that slapping high tariffs on foreign goods might look patriotic at first glance. It might even feel like you're standing up for American workers, but in the long run, it only creates more problems. He explained that protectionist policies slow down innovation, make industries lazy, and lead to retaliation from other countries. That's exactly what we're seeing now. Trump's Liberation Day tariffs, 10% on all imports and a massive 145% on goods from China, have already sparked backlash. China has fired back with heavy tariffs of their own, restricted exports, and pushed the US into a fresh trade war. Meanwhile, the dollar is dropping, global trade is shrinking, and the cost of everyday goods is rising. Reagan lived through the Great Depression. He saw firsthand how damaging this kind of economic isolation can be. He didn't just theorize about it. He remembered what it did to families, jobs, and entire industries. His message was simple. Real strength comes from fair and open competition, not from hiding behind tariffs. So who's right in this case? Ronald Reagan or Donald Trump?
Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. Now, there are sound historical reasons for this. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery. You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity. Now, it hasn't always been easy. There are those in the Congress, just as there were back in the 30s, who want to go for the quick political advantage, who risk America's prosperity for the sake of a short-term appeal to some special interest group, who forget that more than 5 million American jobs are directly tied to the foreign export business, and additional millions are tied to imports. Well, I've never forgotten those jobs, and on trade issues, by and large, we've done well.